An ESPN analyst has finally seen sense when it comes to Caitlin Clark. She originally dished out disrespect, hoping that Caitlin's numbers would fall. But of course they didn't. In fact, Caitlin just continued to show how great she is. Monica McNutt was a hater of Caitlin. She not long ago said she picks Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year. And her reasoning, you'll never guess it, because Chicago Sky was above Indiana Fevers in the standings. I'm not even kidding. I didn't just make that up. Watch this.
Watch this.
I have said this all season, BC. My Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standings.
Okay.
Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the sky's right above them.
And the Sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel Reese.
Again, what I think is happening here is this black woman is trying to play mental gymnastics and find a way to put Angel Reese above Caitlin Clark. Rookie of the Year does not go to a team. That's why it's called Rookie of the Year. It goes to an individual player. So wouldn't it make sense that you would analyze their statistics and analyze individual play overall? Like, this woman is doing all types of mental gymnastics in order to come to this conclusion so she can try to place Angel Reese above Caitlin Clark in that race. When the Fever and the Future are ranked higher than the Sky, I'll be curious to see if she says the same thing. See if she then tries to maneuver to something different.
Now the Fevers are playing well and already secured a playoff spot. I'm assuming her rookie pick has changed, no. But seriously, what a stupid way to decide a Rookie of the Year award. The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark has reached a new level of intensity. ESPN analysts seem to have made her their latest target, nitpicking her every move on the court. Despite her incredible talent and undeniable contribution to the game, it feels as though they're looking for any reason to hate on her and undermine her success. Recently, chatter has emerged about Caitlin being on the verge of suspension, with just one more foul standing between her and a game-changing absence. This isn't just a minor issue, it's a situation that's grown into a full-blown media spectacle.
People have a schizophrenic relationship with winners. When you're an underdog, they feel impelled to root for you. But if you're up too long, you better grab a helmet. And Caitlin Clark has now become up for too long because now haters jumping out the woodworks. Now everybody's like, wait a second, why are you offering her $5 million to play in the league? Why is she getting a 96-page story in magazine issues? Why is she getting all this attention? There's been Candace Parker's, there's been Skylar Diggins, there's been Maya Moore, there's been Lisa Leslie's. Why just now all the attention for Caitlin Clark? Reason I hate it is because people are starting to paint a bullseye on her back.
Yeah.
And she ain't got nothing to do with the paint or the brush.
Molly Karam, in particular, hasn't held back in her criticism of Caitlin Clark, one of the more prominent voices. On ESPN, Karam has been vocal in saying that Caitlin isn't living up to the hype and that she doesn't perform in high-pressure situations. In her opinion, Caitlin's supposed failure to show up in big games is a sign that she's not as great as everyone wants to believe. But Molly didn't stop there. She went even further, accusing Caitlin of actually lowering the overall quality of the league with her performances, a claim that seems more like a personal attack than an objective analysis of Caitlin's gameplay. These remarks undoubtedly stirred up even more controversy, with some people agreeing with Karam's take, while others felt her criticism was unwarranted.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out there.
However, Caitlin Clark wasn't about to let those comments slide. In true Clark fashion, she responded in the best way possible by delivering dominant performances to shut down any rumors about her. It was the kind of performances that silenced her critics, including Molly. Caitlin put on a clinic, displaying everything from her incredible court vision to her lethal shooting and her latest game. She broke the record for the most points scored by a rookie ever. She showed everyone watching that she's more than capable of stepping up when the stakes are high. It was a masterful way of proving her doubters wrong, reminding everyone that she doesn't just talk a big game, she backs it up when it matters most. Despite the unnecessary heat from ESPN and figures like Molly Karam, Caitlin remains firmly in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, and it's not an easy race with her main competitor being none other than Angel Reese, who has had her own share of standout performances, is considered a favorite by many analysts even. Legendary figures like Sheryl Swoopes have thrown their support behind Reese, with Swoopes openly Stating her preference, she cited Reese's physical dominance and ability to impact the game in multiple ways as reasons why. She believes Reese is deserving of the Honor Swoop's endorsement carries weight, and many are paying close attention to her analysis. However, even with the likes of Cheryl Swoops in Reese's corner, Caitlin hasn't backed down. She continues to let her game do the talking, breaking records and setting new standards for excellence in the league. Game after game, she proves that she's not just in the running for Rookie of the Year. She's a serious contender who should not be underestimated. It's clear that Caitlin isn't content to simply participate in this race. She's here to dominate and leave no doubt in anyone's mind that she belongs at the top.
For me, if Rookie of the Year was picked today, I give it to Angel. There's still stuff about her game that I'm like, I wish she would have stayed another year. And that is just from an offensive standpoint of working on her post game, working on her post moves. I do think that'll come with time. To me, the stuff that Angel brings is, one, she gonna play hard, period. No matter who they're playing. And Kenyon, you can speak to this. Rebounding is about effort, and I want it more than you, and I'm just going to go get it. That is the best part of Angel's game right now. I think she's averaging a double-double.
12
that's impressive. That's impressive for anybody, let alone a rookie, to come in and do that.
The comparison between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has been one of the hottest topics all season. Analysts have been divided, with some leaning toward Reese's more physical, aggressive style of play, and others favoring Caitlin's finesse, basketball IQ, and shooting prowess. It's easy to see why both players are in the spotlight. Each brings something unique to the game. However, Caitlin's journey has been one of overcoming obstacles, and that resilience is part of what makes her so compelling to watch, while Reese may have the edge in terms of backing from prominent figures. Caitlin's determination to silence her critics and prove people wrong has led her to incredible feats. She's a player who thrives on adversity, and that makes her a force to be reckoned with in this race. What's more, Caitlin isn't just meeting expectations, she's blowing them out of the water, game after game. She's setting new records, whether it's in scoring, assists, or three-pointers. From an outside perspective, it's almost impossible to deny the magnitude of her accomplishments, whether she's dropping a 40-point game or dishing out double-digit assists. Caitlin is playing at a level that's rarely seen from a rookie. Analysts, like the ones on ESPN, can say what they want, but the numbers don't lie. Caitlin is having one of the most impressive rookie campaigns in recent memory, even with all the external pressures and the fouls stacking up against her. She's remained laser-focused on one thing, winning. She's not letting the noise get to her, and that kind of mental toughness is rare, especially for someone so young.
Below me are stats around the time that she made that video. Caitlin Clark leads in every single category but 3. You don't look at the statistics and think, yeah, let's give it to this one over this one. But you could argue that, statistics don't tell everything. True. Watch both of their games. Caitlin Clark has a far better game than Angel Reese does. It's much more complete, much more well-rounded. And some people will say, well, Caitlin turns the ball over a lot. Yes, that is a fair argument. And she does make some questionable passes. I mean, she's not perfect, obviously. But I think a lot of those turnovers are due to her teammates not expecting those type of passes. They're not used to a player who passes the ball like that. You can see plenty of times her teammate, the ball's hitting them dead in the hands and them dropping it and it going out of bounds, or going right through their hands and going out of bounds, or bouncing off their hands and going to another person. So yeah, the turnovers don't account for people not catching the ball when she made a perfectly good pass.
This level of attention isn't something many players experience, especially not someone in their rookie season. Yet, here's Caitlin, already dealing with what can only be described as a heightened level of criticism. What's especially frustrating is the narrative being spun around her. Instead of celebrating her many accomplishments, it seems the focus has shifted toward her shortcomings, many of which are being magnified and sensationalized by the media. The fact that she's one foul away from suspension adds fuel to the fire. Suddenly, the conversation isn't just about her talent, it's about her discipline, her composure, and whether she can handle the pressure. But the real question that lingers is, why the double standard? Why is Caitlin being held to a different, almost impossible standard? Caitlin, who's been nothing short of a standout player, has unfortunately found herself in a position where fouls seem to follow her around. It's not just any fouls. Either these are questionable ones that have ESPN analysts and fans alike buzzing. These calls have led many to question the level of protection she's receiving from referees. It's almost as if the officials are quick to blow the whistle when it comes to Caitlin, while other players seem to get a pass for similar infractions. The inconsistency is maddening, especially for someone like Caitlin, who plays with such intensity and passion. Harshness of the calls against her has become a major talking point. Time and again, we see Caitlin penalized for actions that would be overlooked if it were another player. It's no secret that referees have a tough job, but the lack of fair play in Caitlin's case has become a growing concern. Fans, analysts, and even some of her teammates have started to question whether she's being targeted, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you have a player of Caitlin's caliber, someone who plays with an edge and isn't afraid to show emotion, it can sometimes work against them in the eyes of referees. But does that justify the calls? Absolutely not. Throughout the season, Caitlin has had a number of moments where her frustration has bubbled over, resulting in what some would call silly fouls. It's completely understandable when you're playing at such a high level, constantly being targeted by defenders and overlooked by referees. It can wear on you mentally. Every player, no matter how composed, has